Well, pretty good day today. I'm pretty happy that we got those beavers. So, in the tent for the night, got the wood stove going, putting off some good heat, starting to feel real nice in here. And it's time to start thinking about supper. Since we have fresh meat, I'm thinking about making myself a nice pot of beaver stew. Gonna make enough that I can eat it tonight and then heat up the leftovers tomorrow for some lunch. So I'm gonna be using my 4-liter stainless steel pot. I'm not gonna make the entire pot, obviously, that'd be way too much. But I got a few nice pieces of beaver meat ready to go, so I'm gonna get to work and make myself a nice stew. Beautiful pieces of meat here. Really nice. That should do. So now that our meat is cubed up, we can begin the cooking process. So the stove is getting good and hot for me. So I'm going to put my pot on here. I'm going to put about a tablespoon or so of butter in here, let it melt down. Now that's melted down up to temperature, I'm going to add in my meat. And our goal is to cook this meat until it's browned up on all sides. That's going to help to lock in the flavors of the meat. This already smells so good. It's been a few days since I've had any meat, since that last grouse I got. Man, oh man. I am excited for this. In addition to starting off with the meat, I also like to add an onion right at the beginning. I'm keeping an eye on my beaver meat there, making sure to stir it quite often. We're going to add in a whole onion right at the beginning here. Our meat is looking really good now, so I'm going to go ahead, add in the onions. And once these onions start to brown up, crisp up a little, then we'll go ahead and add our water. So our meat is all browned up. The onions are starting to caramelize, so now I'm going to add about a liter or so of water. Because this is cold water from the stream, obviously it's not up to temperature, so I'm just going to let this come up to temperature, get boiling, then we can proceed to the next step. Alright, that's what we like to see. This is kind of where we want to keep it from now on, just a nice light simmer. So next up we're going to add a bouillon cube. This is a beef bouillon cube. This is a great addition to any kit, any survival kit or your camping kit. These small little cubes pack a lot of flavor. You can mix it just with water and have yourself a nice hot flavored drink. Or if you have the right ingredients, you can make some stew. So we're just going to drop this in here. Then we'll stir it up, make sure it gets all broken up. And then from here, we're just going to let everything simmer together, get all those flavors going. And then probably in about an hour and a half, we're going to add a few more ingredients and then let it cook from there. Right now the name of the game is just letting that bouillon cube work its way into the meat, season up this water real nice. Our stew is well underway. So we've been letting everything stew together for probably about an hour now. So I'm going to go ahead, add my vegetables. I'm going to cut up 3 carrots, 3 potatoes, and then we will add them into the stew. Oh, the stew smells so good. This is a lot of potatoes. I want a good filling stew for sure. Alright. So now that we got everything in there, we basically just have to cook it until the vegetables are done to our liking. Once the potatoes and carrots are good and soft, we're happy with how they look, then we can begin to eat. Of course, we can taste it along the way as well. Add any more seasonings. I have salt and pepper and some seasoning salt, so if I feel I need to, I can add a little seasoning. But the name of the game now is just let it stew away, and she'll be time to eat. Well, I think we are pretty much done here. Adding in all those potatoes was a pretty good idea. All the starch from them helped to thicken up the stew a bit. I don't really have any thickener with me. I have my bannock mix, but I'm getting pretty low on it. I don't want to use it to thicken up the stew, but look at that. Potatoes, carrots. Look at that delicious meat. Smells amazing. Let's give it a taste test. I went ahead and made myself a nice loaf of bannock while I was waiting for the stew to cool off a little bit. Fried it in a little bit of butter, so it has a nice buttery taste to it, almost like a buttermilk biscuit, which goes real nice with stew. Oh man, only you could smell this. Wow. I'm just going to eat it right out of this pot rather than dirtying up another dish. Then I can just leave it in here overnight, stash it outside, and the cold air will cool it down. And it will keep until tomorrow for lunch. Definitely made way too much. Enough for a small army, I'd say, but it's okay. I'll definitely be able to get a couple good meals out of this. Try a potato and a carrot here. I'm thinking this is still pretty hot. Oh. Oh my goodness. Just a little hot. Whew. Alright, there's a nice piece of beaver meat. Give her a try. Oh yeah. Tastes almost just like roast beef or something. That's really good. Try some of this bannock. Look at that. Perfectly cooked. There's nothing better than dipping some bread or some biscuits in stew. There's something about it that's just next level. Oh my. Good thing I made a whole bunch of this stuff. Even the broth, so tasty. I did end up adding some salt and pepper and some seasoning salt towards the end of the cooking process, just seasoning it to taste. Look at that, nice piece of beaver meat, carrot. Wow. That is so good. This is a tasty end to a really good day. I've got a lot of work I gotta get done tomorrow though, so I'm going to finish up my meal here. Hopefully I don't eat too much tonight. I can still have a good lunch tomorrow too. Should be able to manage. But I'm gonna finish up my meal, get to bed so I can wake up early and get to work. I really appreciate you guys watching. Hope you enjoyed.